But all right, cool. We are done with our nerd news, and we're gonna jump into our last segment of the show to kind of wrap us up. So, this is kind of cool, and we're choosing to do this kind of early on because I know things get a little bit, near the end of the month, things are gonna get kind of like a little bit rockety because I know at least here in the United States we're doing Thanksgiving and it's gonna get crazy. But Adam and I wanted to take a moment. To celebrate that this month marks the 10-year anniversary of the launch of the Xbox 360.
Yes.
It's crazy, on November 22nd, 2005, in North America, Xbox 360 was released, and in December 2nd, 2005, it was released in Europe, and in December 10th, 2005, it was released in Japan. So the end of 2005 or 2015 marks the 10-year anniversary of Xbox 360. Let me just go on the record to say I feel so old that Xbox
Um,
360 is 10 years old. My God, man. Like, I
I
feel
feel
really old.
I feel old. It makes me feel. I think this console came out when I was in high school.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
I was in high school, early years of high school.
yeah, I was 18, man. I was 18 years old. I was just starting college and I was miserable. I really was. I had no idea what the hell I was doing with my life.
Um,
It's where do we start? Well, first of all, I can answer this with a no. But did you get it when it came out on launch?
no,
Yeah,
no.
neither did I. No.
I This was a period where I was very distanced from gaming.
Right.
I don't know, for some reason I kind of had like this love affair with gaming. When I was a kid, I used to play Super Nintendo. I had my Super Nintendo. My mum bought one. We had PlayStation 1. We had PlayStation 2. So when we went to this generation, it took me long to get into it. For
Yeah.
some reason, I kind of really became detached. I was always still playing my PS2, and I had like Metal Gear and stuff like that. And this is like one of the phases where I didn't really have like that much of an interest in gaming.
Hmm.
Yet it was because of this console that I really owe a lot of coming back into gaming.
Right.
Because it's when I owned this console because my brother had one, and I played it like a shit ton. Like he had Rainbow Six Vegas, and that really was the first part of instigating my love of the shooter franchise, and just kind of like playing online. Um, I think like for me, one of the big steps was when I learned of online gaming. Like it was unknown to me. It was like a complete and utter like new phase to jump into. It was one of the game changers of of this seventh generation of consoles. Like it was
Right.
huge. Um, and I got the Xbox One. It's when my brother got an Xbox One. Like, one of the games that came with was Gears of War. I remember playing. He didn't play Gears of War, but I instantly loved Gears of War. Gears of War is still in my top five games of all time. It'll always be there because I think as not even the game I love the story and stuff like that. It was game changing the third person shooter genre. It it was huge with cover based mechanics. It was just such a great, even for now, even with a remastered version, you look at it, it's aged so well. It
Yeah.
still feels fluid. It's a little bit kind of clunky here and there, but it was for its time what it was because it was
Hmm.
intentionally meant to be like, I think it was someone said to me like, "Oh, it's fucking annoying that I can't run away." The entire point was Gears punishes you for running away. Like if you are not behind cover and you're trying to run away from someone whilst they're lance ranking, they'll take you down because that's the entire point. Um, but like I did have like a huge love for like that game. Like that was one thing from the start for me. It started it off for me, and I think like I had an Xbox One. I had Xbox One. Sorry, Xbox One. I've had Xbox 360s over the 10 years because the console kept fucking breaking.
Yeah.
Which is a story in itself, like the Red Rings, and I think like I finally settled on my Final Fantasy Limited Edition one. But over 10 years, it was my go-to console, even over PS3. I think like PS3, I only started to kind of show interest into it again like the last few years. But like I never wanted a PS3. When I had this console, I was like, everything is on Xbox. I have the shooter games, I have Call of Duty, I have Gears of War, I have exclusives, I have this. Maybe I was missing out on Uncharted and stuff, but hey, I wanted to play these. I think I owe a lot to Xbox 360. Again, it goes back to like I said before about the dashboard. I watched the dashboard evolve from those
Right.
blades to like the entire what Xbox One almost is now. Um,
It was
but
a hell of a console. I mean, I have, of course, I always have these stories to tell. I did not pick it up in 2005 when it came out. I didn't get it. Yeah, no, I didn't pick it up. I instead opted to wait for the PlayStation 3. because I wanted Metal Gear. I knew Metal Gear was coming. I was like, MGS4, dude, I'm like, MGS4 is coming, and fuck that. And I remember I was talking to my sister. She was, oh gosh, my sister was in middle school at the time. And she was like, yeah, some kids in my, no, wait, I think she was in high school. Yeah, she was just starting high school. And she was like, yeah, some kids in my class were saying 360 is like way better. And I remember I told her, like a fucking 14-year-old, I was like, fuck those kids. I was like, they don't know shit. Fucking, because I was like so, but I was a kid back then, so I was so driven by my desire for revenge. No,
Lust for revenge.
my lust for MGS4. But what ended up happening was in 2006, so in late 2006, I got my Wii at launch. I got my PS3 a
Fuck
few.
me. Picked up a Wii at launch and not a 360, Chris. Come on.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I got my PS3 a few weeks later because they were on back order. I had pre-ordered mine, and so I have these systems, and it's December, and I'm like, man, I really fucking want a 360. And so, using a combination, that was the first year I got a job, working retail. So using my money, and I had no
Sorry,
money.
do you say combination? I think like a combination of my money and the super baby method. I was going to produce an Xbox 360.
Super baby method. Yes. They combine father's cells and fertilize. I go into like a whole the whole liquid speech. That was good, man. But yeah, no, combining the super baby method, my job and my parents, I was able to actually get an Xbox 360. So that year in 2006, dude, I got 3 fucking consoles. And like I didn't get shit for a long time after that. It was a dry season for a while. But I did get it, and I bought 2 games with it. I got Dead Rising, and I got what was the other one? I got Dead Rising, and I also got
Also?
Gears of War. That was the other one. Yeah,
Yeah.
and also, dude, one thing, and I've talked about those games before. Dead Rising is all right. I like it for what it is. Gears of War was fucking incredible. And I really liked I remember Xbox Live Arcade. I thought was so fucking cool.
Yeah, it was a cool feature, wasn't it?
It was so cool. I remember there's just old games I remember playing
Uno.
when I was younger.
Uno.
Uno, dude, I loved Uno. That was the first game I really got into online gaming. People were playing Halo, I was playing Uno and seeing
Fucking
men's
Uno.
cocks on the fucking Xbox Live Vision, and that was annoying. People would like
Uh,
that was insane. People would
that
like
was
seriously show body parts, and I'm like, oh
that
fuck,
and that and chat roulette started off that phase. Do you remember that? Like a couple of years, that was so weird. When people like, I mean, now it's elevated to Tinder and shit like that, and like just general people sticking their dicks on the internet.
They're
But I mean, like,
flocking over there now,
yeah. But yeah, I remember that because I remember reading that as a kid. I was like, well, why would you show you? Obviously, I'm a kid. I'm like, why would you show your dick on
Yeah,
like
in
camera?
the middle of
Obviously-
Uno.
and obviously, I don't do it now. But I'm just there. I was like, well, why would you do that? Like, what is the point of that?
Like I'm here trying to do my Uno game, and some dude's like whipping his cock out. I'm like, dude, put that away. Like that's
I
not
understand.
that's
I
not
understand
a
if
wild card. I can assure you.
I understand if you want to win and then whip out your dick because like that makes sense. Like you've actually succeeded in when you're like, ooh no. Like, kind of,
Like the victory, like the
Speaking of
taunt.
kind of the arcade games, one of my biggest disappointments about the 360 was that 1 versus 100 didn't take off.
Oh my god, that was so cool, wasn't it?
That was such a cool feature, and then all of a sudden, it, like, died out, just went quiet. And I was like, oh, what?
Yeah.
I was like, that was such a cool game. Obviously, if you don't know what 1 versus 100 was, I think it's based on a TV show,
Yeah.
where it's one person is selected as, we'll call him it. It is selected there, and you take on a crowd of 100 people, and like it's just basically like a question and answer, like who wants to be a millionaire style. Like you got these questions,
Right.
and then you fight the crowd, and obviously the more you take out, the more you win.
And you won money. Remember, you'd win games and points and stuff. It was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. I remember someone failed in the first question where it was like, who was Obi-Wan's mentor in the Phantom Menace, and they answered it wrong, and even in the 100, like 4 people answered it wrong. It's like, where have you been all your life?
I used to play that, and I got so pissed. I always wanted to be the one, and I never was able to be the one. So that kind of pissed me off. That was, dude, God, that was a great thing. That was part of the new Xbox experience. Remember, they were like, we're gonna have these like live games and stuff like that, and they so canceled that. They were like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore, and they shut down that whole section, and that was a bummer, man.
I
Um,
think I think with one of the weird things was 360 absolutely fucking obliterated PlayStation in the first part of its
yeah,
first quarter of its cycle, but then at the same time it drifted so far off in the at the end, especially with Kinect coming in. I think like one of the things with Sony was that they just looked at PlayStation Move and they were just like, it's not going to work. Like, let's just leave it where it is and just like move on. But yeah, like Microsoft were dead set on like the investment they're going to put on it, and it's been a massive calamity beyond belief. The amount of money they had to plow into the game, and it's just not worked at all. Um, but it was kind of a shame seeing the 360 really drift off from what it was a couple of years ago. Like it was a huge machine, and they had like all these exclusive deals for the shooter games. It had good exclusive catalog, and then that completely diminished over the space of so many years. Um, but I think, like, I mean, legacy wise, it has taught Microsoft many lessons, though. The Xbox One, like, it has,
yeah,
sorry, Xbox 360 has set many lessons for the Xbox One. I think Phil Spencer and the team now at Microsoft are really kind of looking at that and changing, changing the entire kind of structure, almost back to 360 style. So I do see very similarities now between the 360 and the Xbox One in terms of the evolution of the dashboard, first party
right.
games coming back, etc., etc. So yeah,
Yeah, it's no, it was definitely that's something else I forgot to add. Xbox 360 was the first system that I bought. Like, okay, we owned an Xbox, right? Because my sister bought it long time ago for like it was the special bundle thing that they were doing, and so she bought one, and she used it as a DVD player mainly because it was so
yeah,
cheap. My parents just bought it for her, and I didn't really play a whole lot of games. I didn't even play Halo. I didn't play anything. 360 was the first Microsoft console that I bought. I got really into, and I kind of from there I reversed engineered and went back to the Xbox and kind of looked at all the games I missed from there. And then I mean, shit, Xbox One was the first console I bought, a Microsoft console that I bought at launch. All the other systems I bought later on, like when they were cheaper or just when better games came out. Um, but yeah, dude, 360 was an excellent console. The Xbox Live evolved so much with it. That was another thing that was huge. Um, it was such a colorful console too, even from day one. It was great, man. And it's funny because here in the U.S., I'm looking at their sales charts, and the U.S. it sold the most units, which is kind of crazy.
yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
Japan, of course, Japan was the least because like they're still having trouble in Japan. Microsoft that kind of like didn't really, like stop over. Um, but yeah, did you buy the Pro by the way, the premium edition? When it came, did they have that? They had
Oh,
Core and they had Pro for
yeah.
us.
No, that no, no. It has some kind of one. They had an arcade bundle, like dual, like a
Oh
20,
right,
like a 5 megabyte hard drive, and then they had the standard one which had 20. Unbelievable to think that the hard drive was 20 gigabytes.
yes. Oh my
That
god.
like what? My fucking god! You look at it like what? Like what are you thinking? Even when I'm looking at it now with PS3, I'm like, why is PS4? Why does this not have a terabyte fucking hard drive? And it's like
Seriously.
it should have you really do like raise eyebrows like shit. Like you just like I think like going back to how much RAM the PlayStation had in it. You look at it you're like what? That's all you put in for RAM. Like unbelievable. Like the amount of like um yeah, it's crazy to think about it. Like really crazy even to even like
Yeah.
kind of think
Even
about
back
it. But I think
then,
like
even 10 years
yeah,
ago, it's like,
yeah,
jeez, man. It's amazing how
10
much
years ago,
we've
and then like
evolved.
yeah, and then the E3s that they did for Microsoft and just like the console wire. I mean, like there were consoles that really were like pulled down to the fine wire of getting the limit out of them because it was a very long console generation.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it was like top notch from it. I really remember that console generation. I really appreciate it. I look back at it fond memories as well.
It was good times, man.
Yeah.
It was a good time. And if you guys, by the way, have any stories or anything on whether you bought it at launch or just when you got an Xbox 360, let us know. And it's been 10 years, man. And you know what? If you have an Xbox One, what a great! I don't think this is a coincidence that Microsoft gave backwards compatibility the month of the 10-year anniversary. So at least in North America. So like pop in some old games, whatever you have that's compatible. Like go back and play some old Xbox 360 games on that new Xbox One controller, and have past and present meet, like combine them.
Yeah.
Also, dude, I'll drop one more thing. Do you remember the HD DVD add-on?
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
was like a
man. Ooh,
that was when Sony prevailed completely.
yeah, they
Um,
toppled them. I did not buy that. I'm so glad I did. It came with
no, I
King
didn't
Kong. I
either.
remember the Peter
Oh
Jackson
yeah,
movie.
no way, no wonder it fucking deterred the people from buying it. Give
Like,
fucking Pete Jackson's King Kong.
sweet King Kong. I gotta get this. I have to say, at one point I was tempted because I was just a completionist type of guy, and I remember Rebecca. We were dating at the time. We were only dating for like I think at that point 2 years, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Don't do it. Just you have a Blu-ray," and I'm like, "That's true." I just didn't. I'm like, I have a PS3. Fuck it, and I totally didn't touch that.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. I guess that's gonna close our show. I mean, I could sit here and talk for another hour, but we got places to be, people to see. Not really, but
Yeah.
got stuff to do.
Leave us be. But yeah, that's it for this week's episode. Don't forget to follow the Gamer Headline Show on Twitter at TGH Show and like our official Facebook page, the Gamer Headline Show, for up-to-date episodes from Gamer Headlines' official podcast. Additionally, the Gamer Headline Show can be found on Podbean, Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, and, of course, right here at GamerHeadlines.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Take care, guys.